Happy Saturday. The Paradigm Shift, episode 27. Episode 27 already, can you believe it? The People Show, the hottest show on the planet, already greenlit for a nationwide TV show, and we're about to get nuts. Full disclosure, we're about to get very weird. It's Saturday, and Dave and I just want to contribute to your life, and we have a very special guest today that I'm super excited about. I see you, Big Dave. Don't worry. Handsome man. I'm bringing you on right now. You articulate alligator, spiritual starfish. There, I said it. Everybody's out today. Rachie, mindset guru.
What's up?
Let me just start off by saying I'm grateful for you.
I'm grateful.
You enrich my life. I'm obsessed with you, and I love you.
I feel the same way about you, my friend, and I look forward to my Saturday mornings with the CLS experience. The man, the legend, the up-and-comer himself. Don't count him out. Craig Siegel, the Eagle. What's up, man?
That's right. Everything's good. I see our friend Ken Jocelyn in the house today, who I get to meet for the first time in 2 weeks, flying out and all that.
Yeah, I get to spend a lot of time with you the next few weeks. I'll see you in Vegas. I'll see you in New York. I'm going Philly, Miami. It's going to be crazy.
To be honest with you, it's not enough. Let's start. We have a very special guest on today who I'm super excited about, but let's cut right to it. Let's contribute to everyone's weekend. You ready to rock?
Let's roll.
Okay. Why me versus try me? Tell us what you mean, Big Dave.
Yeah, a lot of people live in the world of not enough. Everything happens to them. They're a victim. They're sitting there going, why me? Why can't, why? And what happens is when you have these indicators that you have a better place to be, and there seems to be a struggle, a pain, a setback, a failure, a mistake, that's when that's the last time you ask why me. You take full accountability and you say, try me, bring it on. Here I go. I'm going to accelerate, expand, grow, compound in my own interest, not other people's interest, not what's missing, not what's not there, but I'm going to try me. In other words, pursue my potential. This is an opportunity to be my higher self and show my higher self to myself.
Yeah. So basically, you're never a victim. No matter what happens, you always take accountability and responsibility, and you embrace adversity.
Exactly. And you expand, accelerate, and grow from it.
Pretty simple. We'll do one more last cutie, and then we'll bring on our guest. Be humble, ask for help. This is something that I've learned most recently, and it's paid dividends. A lot of people don't want to do it for whatever reason. Why is that, and why should they do it?
Let me just tell you this, and it's something that I've learned over the years. As much as you think you've learned it, you haven't learned it. Let's talk about a month from now, 2 months from now. Asking for help is a process. It's an onion. You got to peel off each layer as you reach further and further into humility that you don't even know how much you're missing. You don't even know right now, Craig, that you're asking for crumbs. You're asking for crumbs. You think you're learning about asking for help. I've been on a journey of humility for 16 years. Out of ignorant arrogance came ignorant humility, where I don't know what I don't know, and I'm going to find the people, be more interested than interesting. Find the people who sit in the situation and ask them for help. People ask me all the time, what's the number one piece of advice you give to your 18-year-old self? I tell you, it's the same piece of advice that sits on my nightstand, sits on my screensaver, and it sits here today on the CLS experience, and that is ask for help. Radical humility. Live your life not in ignorant arrogance where you think you know what you don't know, but you don't know what you don't know. So be humble. Ask for help. Ask bigger, ask brighter, ask enough, ask more times, ask for help. And I promise you, the universe will respond and you will be able to provide more help to others as well.
If we didn't have an unbelievable guest come on right now, I would have to end it with the mic drop after that one. What does your hat say?
Run, mate. Run. R-U-N-D.
Speaking of running, talk about that privately.
I wore this for you. I'm sending it to you or giving it to you when I see you in Vegas.
Oh my God. What's up, Brianna? I see everybody's out today. We're gonna bring
Rach, Jesse, all the beautiful ladies out there, all my friends, Lori. Do we have any guys that like us? Where's Jakey Bakey? Oh, he's on a plane. I get it.
Where is Jakey Bakey?
He's on a plane to Detroit. I'm at
Shot.
the Detroit Athletic Club tomorrow morning before the game with Jason Waller. The baller, my man.
Where are you gonna be?
The Detroit Athletic Club. I'm going to the Lions and Ravens game with the baller Waller. Oh my goodness, look who's here.
There she is.
You didn't even warn me. She just popped out of nowhere. It's like a genie in the bottle.
How you doing? I'm super excited to catch you today. I'm a fan. Dave, before she even speaks, give this lady the intro she deserves.
I can't do that, but I'll give her the intro that I can. And because I'm on the pursuit of my potential, and she is my chief potential officer, spiritual guide for all business empires, AKA the Royal Shaman. And Makosi, she is beautiful inside and out. And she has, talk about transformation. I myself had gone through a similar transformation, and I thought I had challenged myself, but nothing compared to the incredible Royal Shaman herself at the Royal Shaman. She's amazing. So welcome, Makosi. You are in the presence of funness and craziness. Thank you for joining us.
How you doing?
I'm fabulous. Thank you guys so much for having me. This is just like giving me all the like delicious, juicy, scrumptious vibes for this Saturday morning. Like, what could be better?
We love your vibe. Let's dive right in. You ready for us?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. Makosi, you talk about often activating abundance. I think it's so cool the way you articulate.
I love those eyebrows. You see that? She's like.
Tell the audience who may not be familiar with you what you mean by activating abundance and how to do so.
Yeah. So every time that I speak about abundance, so often everyone just automatically goes directly to money. And as I'm sure both of you know, money is just a byproduct of perceiving abundance in all aspects of our lives. And so when we're talking about activating abundance, the way that I perceive it is that at any given time, the universe, God, always has right within reach new levels of abundance for us to access. But we are the ones who have to just be able to see it. And so we start by actually looking at it. Most of us are wired as human beings. It is a survival mechanism that we're wired to see everything that's going wrong. What are the challenges? What are the problems, right? And we get hyper focused on that. But when we can pull back and look from a more holistic space and look at, wow, where is the abundance in my life right now? And the more we focus on that, the more it grows, ultimately showing up in abundance of new relationships like these, right? New opportunities, events, everything that is just absolutely joyous and euphoric about life begins to flow in without us having to hustle and force and push our way so much.
Makosi's got gems today, Big Dave.
She's amazing. Well, she knows the energetics of euphoria herself and understands the philosophy of allowance, and that we use our own energy to clear the way. We don't use it to go get things. And so the idea of abundance requires two currencies. So most people, the energetic of this time that we live in, the man-made construct of time, the 24 hours of activity that we're given, is money. Money is a currency. It's an object of energy. We get into the flow to get material goods. And so that's why people focus in on that when we say the words abundance. But when you have the second one, which is called faith, and both Makosi and I have gone through a journey of faith, whether it's Source, God, Jesus, Muhammad, Joseph Smith, Buddha, it doesn't matter. But faith itself is a currency. Faith is an object of energy that we put into the flow. The only thing is the shopping mall is much bigger than Amazon. Amazon's a great place to get all products, material goods around the world, but there's a bigger Amazon. And that Amazon is infinity. It's everything. And abundance allows us to go shopping for the right things with the right reasons if you put your faith into the right things for the right reasons. And so that's why it's so important for us to pay attention to, as Makosi was suggesting, and give our intention to what we think, say, do, believe. Understanding is an area I want to ask Makosi about, understanding our energetic and genetic inheritance, our DNA. Our genomes that have been programmed with personalities, characteristics, obsessions, and addictions that actually interfere with the allowance, right? An allowance of everything for everyone. And so, if I can transition, Craig, just real quickly, I have been doing so much research since I met you, Makosi, on the human genome, on the genetic side of the connection of genetics and energetics, the epigenetic layer, because it seems like to me, you know, in your royal shamanness, that you really understand how we're programmatically affected and how we can shift or transform that genome, how we can shift or transform our own characteristics to allow for more, not just for us, but through us for everyone.
Yeah. So what's really interesting is so many of us operate from our mind. We're consciously aware of, you know, what we think it is that we want. And usually this is a result of conditioning, right? Maybe we grew up in a family where something was glorified, or we grew up in a culture where another thing was glorified. And so we begin to condition, and our mind begins to focus on pursuing those, right? And then we have in our DNA the residue or the residual memory coming from ancestral lineage, but also from our own lives, our own childhoods and experiences, where we perceived certain traumatic events, or they're really events that we perceived in a certain way that then imprints us on a genetic level or an unconscious level, where now we are creating a reality to avoid whatever that experience was in the past. So it's really crucial that we begin to bring all of that unconsciousness, those unconscious patterns, into our conscious awareness. And so I personally believe in a both and paradigm, an integrated paradigm, where we are both using our God-given creatorship, and also operating in submission or humility to divine will. And when we bring both of those wills together, what ends up being created is something beyond our imagination. But we have to be able to get out of our own way in order to allow and receive that. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, for me. I love the way she didn't even blink when I was bringing my heightened intelligence and awareness to her. She didn't even blink, just went and said, oh yeah, I get what he's talking about. Everyone else is like, what the hell is he talking about?
To be honest with you, the only negative thing going on in my life today is that we don't have 10 hours for this conversation. But Makosi, I wanted to ask you, another thing that I saw that you said, that the way it's worded is so sexy and it really hits home to me, is resistance is the gateway drug to identify where more alignment is.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I hadn't heard that one, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I have to share a little bit about that. Mainly because I come from the spiritual realm, but also just in personal development, period. We are so wired to just chase what feels good, right? So we spend our entire lives chasing the next goal, chasing so on and so forth, where eventually we hopefully create what it is that we deemed as success. And this is where I meet people at this point, because now they have everything that they thought was going to make them feel good, and yet they're miserable and really desiring depth. And so the way that you get depth is by leaning into what you are resisting, what you are most afraid of. That is where the other 50% of your potential is, but most people are way too afraid to embrace getting comfortable with the uncomfortable.
And just real quickly, you went through a grueling test when you transformed. And for me, it's interesting too, because everyone goes through a quantum shift. You went through one very young. And sometimes I think that I went through my quantum shift younger than most men because of the monetary success that I had, that I was able to accelerate what for me is that quantum being, and understand and go through more in a shorter period of time. But for you, why is it essential to be reborn, in a sense, to go through grueling spiritual tests People who, whether they are addicts or have had financial, like you and I, super success at a young age. There's something extraordinary that occurs, and then we have to take that download, re-engineer it, but we have to go through some struggles, tests in order to find this rebirth. Do you think it's necessary to do that, or is there another way that people can transform without having to go through the grueling tests that you and I have both gone through?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's necessary. However, I think most human beings are human.
most there are some hybrids. I'm a big alien
Yeah.
hybrid person, so not everybody's human anymore.
Yes.
Like
So
Siegel's an alien.
I do think, yes, I'm totally picking up those alien vibes. Thank you for leaving your green skin off screen
Yeah,
before
thank you.
we hopped on.
This is awesome.
I don't think that I really don't think that we have to, but I do think that human psychology sometimes we just it's almost like a part of our nature. But I do think more and more as we become more conscious, we will absolutely begin leaning into and expanding without it having to be so damn uncomfortable, right? But I think that part of the issue is so much of us, like so many of us want that to be true. We want so bad to just avoid pain. But I think most of us get it through the pain because it's really a beautiful part of life. And when we can embrace that our capacity to experience abundance is built in being able to fully experience what it means to be human. The extreme of success, love, joy, bliss, so on and so forth. And also the grief, the tragedy, the pain, the heartache, right? And the more that we're able to experience the full breadth of that, the more euphoria that we get to experience in life. So the original meaning of euphoria is really about well-being. It means that we can feel and access this even when everything in our life seems like it's chaos and falling apart, and embracing that and seeing there's something good in this. And that's speaking again to that faith piece that you were speaking of before.
Cool thing about people that avoid pain is they're guaranteeing themselves that they'll find it. So that's the nice thing about those that try to avoid it. But go ahead, Craig. Sorry for interrupting.
No, that's okay. I can't stop smiling because this conversation really hits home. And I've been talking about all this type of stuff over the last couple of weeks, especially my membership. But also what you were just saying, Makosi, kind of ties into this. Another thing you talked about is becoming timeless when we're in our flow of genius. It's so true. Tell the audience what you mean by that. I think we should leave them with this for the weekend. It's so valuable.
Oh, so many of us have an attachment to time. We want everything to happen when we think it should, when we think that it has to, and everything begins to revolve around time. We're making our decisions based off of how fast we think we can get something on, what's going on today. But the beauty of flow, and there's really two perspectives of flow, and I just want to invite everyone into maybe a more expanded version of what flow is. So many of us approach flow as either being a brief period of time where you've activated your genius and it's also challenged just enough, and you're in this space where space and time essentially dissolves and no longer exists, and even your sense of self dissolves because you're so fully present in the moment. The other camp thinks about flow as this is how I say it. They think of flow as being when Sky Daddy, God, is just going to just rain everything on them and they don't have to do anything for it and can just sit in an action and it all just flow to them. what I really want to invite everyone is to try on the paradigm that flow is actually our natural state, our natural way of being. And this means that we have to stop looking so much at what it is that we're doing and approach things from how we are doing things. So that even the mundane things like cooking breakfast or taking a shower, so on and so forth, can be a flow experience. And when you're operating from that, this is where you can bend reality. This is where now you get to quantum leap and things come to you in a way that just makes no sense. Like even me being here with you all today is a perfect example of how that happened.
I love how you said bending reality. That's deep.
Yeah, I got to add to that because, you know, the whole concept of I am happy, healthy, wealthy, and worthy is that we're always in the flow. What are we doing to interfere with it should be our paradigm shift, no pun intended, Craig, to find that interference, the ego-based conscious triggers that we have that are effectuating the less than that we feel. And then as far as time goes, you know, just to that point, you know, time's a man-made construct, as I always say, and thoughtfulness, this higher power of flow, it moves much faster than time. We all can go back 1,000 years with a split of a second. We all can go over 1,000 years from now in a split of the second. But at the speed of light, we can't get there. And so I think it's important for people to use their higher power of thinking, their higher power of kindness and source by being kind and by being thoughtful in everything that they do, and figure out what are we doing to interfere with the thoughtfulness. And then the last part of time is the first part of which you talked about. I think it even goes deeper when people want things in their time. I think it's when we do the right things, we expect things to come very quickly, if not instantly. And one of the detriments to the idea of flow or this interference is when we're not doing the right things, when we're not being kind, when we're not being humble, that we never expect the result to come. And everything comes at the right way at the perfect time. Most things aggregate upon themselves, accelerate and grow upon themselves. So it takes about 90% of the effort or the continual activity in order to effectuate any awareness to our activity. And so the human mind and human body has a hard time determining whether or not the activity is good or bad, or it has any result at all. So in effect, we're always disappointed when we do the right things. We work out, we diet, we expect instantly to look like, you know, Makosi. That's not going to happen. Or Craig, sorry. But if we eat the wrong things, we never expect to look like David. And it's going to happen to you. So sooner or later, understand the speed of light, the speed of thought, and utilize the infinity of time as well as the infinity of thought, limitlessness and abundance, how it's interrelated to the interference that we're creating from the connection to flow that is always present. Sorry for rambling on there, but I had to get that out of this being that I am. Thank you so much.
We love you guys so much. Guys, for the audience, share the episode if you absolutely love it. We love you guys so much. Makosi, where can the audience hang out with you? Where can they support you? I'm already a diehard fan. I have a feeling you and I are going to do some more things together. Where can everyone else keep up with you?
I'm usually on the grams, so you can find me at the Royal Shaman on the grams. I'm a little old lady in here, so like very often I'm trying to figure out how to work Instagram, but I do my best. And there's amazing stuff on there. Yeah. Also, you can visit my website, theroyalshaman.com.
Hell yeah. Dave, one last gem for the audience?
As always, I feel blessed to be here with both of you. Feel blessed just to be here. I'm not taking for granted what other people are wishing for, including myself. And I always remember and remind and recollect, be kind to your future self. Do good deeds, everyone. It's that simple. Thank you, Makosi. Thank you, Craig. I love you both.
Love you both. Makosi, so great to connect. It's just the beginning of our relationship. Dave, love you, buddy.
Love it. Thank you.
Have a great weekend. Take care.
Bye guys. Community, yeah, see everybody's out today. If you guys love this, just keep sharing the episodes. The show is growing significantly. And join the texting community at the bottom of the screen. Daily inspirations, training, access to the biggest and brightest on the planet with the mindset, the inspiration, the law of attraction. Text right now on the bottom of the screen, 917-634-3796. getting the daily free texting blast. Yep, I see all the texts coming in right now. We love you guys. We just want to contribute to your weekend, start it off right, so you guys can sharpen the axe, utilize activating abundance. Have an unbelievable weekend. Thank you, Makosi. Thank you, Big Dave. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. We're going to let you know tomorrow what the verdict is in regards to the Chicago Marathon, which is 2 weeks from tomorrow. So if you want to find out if we're running it, stay tuned until tomorrow. I love you all.